Well, how y'all are? It's your buddy George Jones over here at the Bergen Gun Range with my next installment on. Hey, I got this old used gun. The old used gun I got today is the Stevans 94 single shot shotgun. This does not have the gauge, or the correction, this does not have the choke sitting on it. It doesn't say what the choke of this gun is. So what we're going to do is we're going to pattern it right quick. I've got a 14-inch by 14-inch something down there with a target dot on it, and we're going to load her up right quick and pattern it right quick. Let's see how it actually shoots down there. Oof. Oof. Really? There we go. Quit making that gun 1948, so you know. Let's go down here and have a look. Well, it shoots a little low for where I had it beaded, but at 15 yards, that's a pretty impressive, nice tight rabbit killing group right there without any trouble at all. Get that up there where you can see some daylight through there. You know, that's a pretty good group. Oh yeah. Yeah, that'll do nicely. That's 15 yards. 25 yards would have a little bit of a wider pattern, of course, but at 25 yards it definitely kill a rabbit. All right, let's go and shoot. So let's talk about it a minute. So in 1940 they came out with this stock configuration. This material is called Tenite. It is a mingly scrap plastic polymer that is based on wood, basically. Wood cellulose of some kind. Stock and forearm. They started producing this in 1940, and they produced it all the way up to the stock configuration on their shotguns, all the way up to 1948, and then they quit. The problem with Tenite is you don't see very many Tenite shotguns, Tenite stocked shotguns in 12 gauge. Most of them have got the wood replaced on them, or at least the stock. Tenite didn't stand up very well to the constant recoil of a 12 gauge shotgun. You see the Tenite stock, when you see it on this, a 20 gauge or a 410. And they made these in 28 as well. And you see the 94 style shotgun all the way up to the late 1970s. Production stopped in 1942 on private sporting arms completely, and they didn't start back producing them. Stevens and Savage didn't start back producing them until early 1946. And then in 48 they realized that, you know, maybe that stock material wasn't that great in the first place, and wood became more available. You think of a shortage of wood in America during World War II, you think, well, good grief, America's got a lot of wood. Well, there's a certain limited amount of woods that you can put on military weapons. Typically walnut, birch, and chestnut. A lot of big chestnut trees in this country that ain't there anymore because in World War II was part of the problem. So Savage and Stevens was out of the civilian gun market during World War II because they were busy making cannon breech parts and artillery triggering mechanisms and and Thompson submachine guns. They made the lion's share of the M1 and M1A1 submachine gun during World War II. But this is a pretty cool gun. It has a little sight plane up here on the top of it that plays out when the barrel starts to taper. It has a nice big bead. It's obviously a full choke shotgun, even though it doesn't say full choke on it. Aluminum trigger guard, which is sometimes you see them broken, you know, but when they replaced them with plastic in the 1960s, you really saw a lot of them broken. This gun is held on, the stock is held on this guy by this great big screw. It's more or less solid in here, and then it has a screw that comes in here about that far, you know, and with that big head on it. So if you see a gun like this, you know, you think, well, is it an antique? This one certainly is, because production ceased on this configuration in 1948. It has a snapped-on forearm. Okay, so the forearm just kind of snaps on it. You see, occasionally you see these guys, even today, that have got tape wrapped around here, because if you shoot a hot shell in it, you know, and just holding onto the forearm, sometimes the forearm will separate from the barrel. So you see them occasionally, old guys out in the field still with these Tenite shotguns, you know, with it taped on there. Yeah, well, you know, we wish them luck. Overall, the 94 is an outstanding gun. It's great longevity. You know, production on this gun ceased in 1941 and picked back up again in 1946. And then this particular model with this configuration of stock set ended in 1948. It's just a nice gun. You can still get these. The value of a Tenite gun is somewhere around $200, on the basis that when you see Tenite shotguns, they're always glued and taped and busted and different things, and this one's in real good shape. Yeah, if you see one of these things, it's $150, $200, something like that, in this condition. Now, a lot of these guys were replaced with wood. You can go to Numrich and buy a stock, which is new made, to replace the Tenite stock, which is on a 12 and 16 gauge, typically broken in some way. The 20 doesn't have as much recoil, the 28 doesn't have as much recoil, and the 410 doesn't have as much recoil, so it's a lot better situation for it. Rabbit getter, boy, this is going to be a rabbit getter right here. It don't weigh nothing. It's easy to pack. You know, I could walk around Peabody over in western Kentucky on a rabbit hunt with this thing over my arm all day long, you know, which is what I've been doing lately, just walking around with it over my arm, whatever it is. Real nice gun for a single shot shotgun. And, you know, it's like they say, well, they don't make them like that anymore. Boy, they don't. I'm telling you, they just don't. Well, all right then. That's about the size of it for the old Stevens 94 with a Tenite stock. You see one of these guys around, you want to pick it up, I'd snap it up. I'll tell you the truth. All right then. That's about the size of it. Like to take, share, pie, commentate, and subscribe. Throw an old $1 in the Patreon bucket on the way out your door. If you don't, well, I keep making content anyway. That's about the size of it. I appreciate y'all looking. We'll see y'all now.